What's up YouTube, it's your boy Nasher. Welcome back to the channel, and for today's video, we're going to be taking a step back away from Cyberstorm Access and go back to Photon Hypernova. And you guys are probably wondering why. Well, as you guys can tell by the title of the video, we have the world premiere cards, the brand new TCG exclusive cards. Excuse me, for Photon Hypernova, which include quite a few cards that I'll be talking about in today's video. But not only that, I am also going to be talking about the other reprints that will be in the Rarity Collection Quarter Century Edition OCG set, and there's quite a few of them. So hopefully you guys are ready for this video. If you guys are, and you guys want to see more videos like this in the future, which get posted every Tuesday and sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all of my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And yeah, if you guys see me like completely winded, it's not that I'm tired or anything. It's the fact that I'm still amazed by what happened last night at NXT Vengeance Day. NXT Vengeance Day was literally everything that we had expected from the NXT brand going back on the road, which is absolutely insane. I'm not so sure if NXT would go back on the road for the weekly shows on Tuesdays, which honestly that would be pretty cool, but I don't think that's gonna happen anytime soon, given the fact that most of the talent I think are actually live in the state of Florida, which is kind of crazy. But with that being said, let's get straight into it with the Rarity Collection reprints, all of which now include the following, such as Infinite Impermanence, which is a really good reprint because Imperm's been reprinted so many times, but yet the card is still at like $10-15 a copy, which is absolutely insane. Then of course we also have Tour Guide from the Underworld, which it's an okay reprint. I don't think it gets played. I don't think you see the card get played much anymore. I think maybe Magical Musketeer maybe. I don't know. Let's see here. Artifact Lancia, a really good reprint. Dimension Shifter is another really good one. Even Alpha the Master of Beasts, which is an okay reprint. Cherubini, Ebon, Angel, the Burning Abyss, which, to be fair, Burning Abyss, I don't think it's ever gonna see any more play. Even if the archetype does get more support, it's never gonna be as good as it was when they were first released during the Arc 5 era. Dark Ruler No More, as well as, if it'll keep scrolling, Small World, which is a really crazy card. Dimensional Barrier, as well, is a pretty decent one. And even okay, seriously, you're not gonna... Thank you. Okay. Evenly Matched as well, and even also Shadal Schism is as well, which is a pretty good one as well. So there are some pretty good reprints, and there's actually a few others as well that I'm going to be talking about. There's actually, I think it's just one. Yeah, When the Wind Channeler is also going to be reprinted in the set, which honestly, again, the reprints could have been better. I don't know if there are any other cards that need to be talked about from the set, But if there are, I will definitely bring them up on the channel in a future video. But now we gotta talk about the Photon Hypernova TCG import TCG world premiere cards and OCG imports as well. And there's quite a few of them. And one of them is Gravekeeper's Inscription, which is a normal spell. I don't think I ever talked about this card, but the effect reads: at the start of your main phase, apply one of the following effects. Until the end of your opponent's turn. Neither player can activate card effects in the grave. Neither player can banish cards from the grave. Neither player can special summon monsters from the graveyard. So this is just basically Necro Valley on a normal spell, which is kind of okay, but it does also prevent. It does stop cards such as call by from being used, and it also stops cards like Monster Reborn being used as well, which is actually pretty good. So it's a nice way to stop those graveyard heavy base decks from using any effects or banishing cards or summoning monsters from the graveyard, which is really good. And apparently Photon Hypernova has it as a secret rare, which is kind of bizarre. Next up, we have Minai Rupka, I believe is how it's pronounced, which apparently is going to be a common in the set, which is a 4-star water fish with 1500 attack and 500 defense. And the effect reads that when a water monster's effect is activated as a quick effect, you can special summon this card from your hand. You can banish one face-up fish, sea serpent, or aqua monster you control. Target a face-up monster on the field and negates effects until the end of your opponent's turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So this is a great way to extend into more of your rank 4 plays, especially if you were playing this in Shark, in the Shark decks. This card can actually be pretty nuts. Plus, not only that, it's a fucking imperm. It's basically an imperm, which is not too bad. I think this would definitely be only a 2 of, just because if you run 3, it could potentially be a brick. So to anybody out there like myself who does play Sharks, because I've been testing them out quite a bit as of late on Nexus, and the deck is actually pretty nuts. So to anybody out there who plans to play Shark or is playing Sharks, I would recommend playing this as a 2 of, because if you play it at 3, it could potentially just be a brick. So that's really good. Being able to just special summon this card freely from your hand and go into even more of your plays is actually pretty nuts. Next up, we have Orfable, I don't know. The Harmonious Bullfighter Bard. I don't know what the hell. I don't know. Apparently, they are having this card as the ultra rare in Photon Hypernova, and it's an 8-star light beast warrior with 3000 attack, 2400 defense, so 100 defense shy of the stats of a Blue Eyes White Dragon, which is pretty crazy. Cannot be normal summon set. Must be special summoning from your hand by banishing 2 light and 2 dark monsters from your hand in our graveyard. Oh, so you're basically losing tempo. So with this card, not only are you losing tempo, but you're also losing card advantage over your opponent. So that's pretty bad. But what are its effects? Except this card, of course. If summoned this way, this card gains 1000 attack for each monster banished from your hand for its summon, and can attack monsters a number of times each battle phase up to the number of monsters banished from the graveyard for its summon. If this card destroys an opponent's monster by battle. After damage calc, you can banish that opponent's monster. Okay, so this is basically Draco Berserker, but a little bit different. Or actually, not Draco. It's more of a call by, but again, with this card, you're basically losing card tempo over your opponent. So, if you wanted to have a monster that banishes light and darks, I would just play fucking BL. Fucking play Chaos Sorcerer, Black, BLS, Envoy. I would just play those. The hell with this card. This card is bad. This card is a bad card. Yes, it is true that it does have a Cyber Twin Dragon effect, but again, the problem is the way you summon it. So this card just sucks. It's no good. It is no good at all. But although I will admit the artwork is pretty cool, I will admit that. Next up we have Diabolantis, the Menacing Mantis, which is a... How in the hell is that gonna... Really, they have this card as a common. This looks like it could be a fucking Seeker Rare. Come on. Which is a 8-star Dark Insect Synchro with 2500 attack, 2200 defense, and requires a tuner and one or more non-tuners, so pretty generic. But it only works with insects / plants. So Black Rose could actually run this card, which is pretty funny. Let's see here. The effect reads: if this card is synchro summon, you can send insect and or plant monsters from your deck to the graveyard up to the number of non-tuners used for synchro summon. If you control this synchro summon card, you can target one insect or plant monster you control. Treat it as a tuner until the end of the turn. You can only use each effect once per turn. So it's basically Foolish Burial. That's all. It's Foolish Burial, Tuned Magician, and you guys are probably wondering what is Tuned Magician. It's actually Tuned Magician is actually a Gemini that saw play, that saw a little bit of play from way back in the day, back to the days of like, I think, what was it, Edison format or something like that. And the thing about that card is that you can normal summon it, but with Gemini monsters you have to normal summon the monster while it's on board. And if you do that, it gains whatever effect it's supposed to gain. With Tuned Magician, if you do that, Tuned Magician's effect reads that it can be that it's basically a tuner, which is pretty cool. So Tuned Magician is pretty decent. So basically that's what this card is. This card can basically just Tune Magician any non-tuner you have on board, and it's automatically a tuner. So this is a really good way for Black Rose to pitch, to send cards such as World Carryweight Champion, and even also Stay Sailor Romarin to the graveyard to trigger off their effects right off the bat. So this is more of a combo extender for the most part, but that's not bad. But a common? Come on, people. Come on, Konami. Next up we have Exceeds a Line, which is a quick play spell, and it's a common, funny enough. And the effect reads: declare a level from 1 to 12. Target 2 face-up monsters on the field, including one monster you control. They become the declared level until the end of the turn, and for the rest of the turn, after the card resolves, you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck except monsters with the same type as a targeted monster. You can only activate one Exceeds a Line per turn. So this basically locks you out of everything except for monsters with the same type as one of the targeted monsters that you have on board. So if you targeted, let's say a dragon, you can only summon dragons from your extra deck, in which for a deck like Galaxy Eyes, most of the extra deck monsters are all dragons. So it works out perfectly. The thing though is that is that you do lose. Is that if you do go into an Xyz play with this one card, you may end up losing board presence over your opponent. So that's something that you definitely got to be careful with. Next up we have actually a brand new card that I'm actually looking forward to seeing get played. It is known as Made to Order Mermaid Outfitter. Yeah, try saying that 5 times fast. Which is going to be a super rare in the set, and it's a normal spell that reads, target one card in your opponent's grave, banish it. Then you can add a card from your deck to your hand with the same name as that banished card. You can only activate one Made to Order Mermaid Outfitter per turn. So this can work perfectly in mirror matches, and especially in the Sprite mirror matches. The problem is that it won't work with the Ishizu tier deck, because with the Ishizu tier deck, you're gonna be doing a whole lot of recycling, and you can actually recycle cards from your banish pile back into your back into either your graveyard or into your deck, depending on the effect. So it wouldn't work out with an Ishizu tier mirror match, but if your opponent runs a deck like say Sprite, and they play cards such as like Ash Blossom and Ghost Spell and whatnot, you can actually add those cards from your deck to your hand. So this is a great way to outthink and outmaneuver your opponent by drawing out any of the hand traps that you need, that you banish from your opponent's graveyard, which is really good. Then also we actually have a brand new archetype as well, but I'll talk about that in a bit. But we do have a few others. Next up we have Casimolar, which is a 3-star Dark Fiend with 1,000 attack, 1,200 defense. Let me see if I can get the laptop up close so I can read it. When this card is normal summoned, you can target a face-up monster your opponent controls. It gains attack equal to its original attack. Also, during the battle phase, maybe, of the next turn, destroy that face-up monster, and if you do, your opponent takes damage equal to half its original attack. At the start of your opponent's battle phase, you contribute this normal summon set card, or set card. Your opponent's monster cannot attack directly for the rest of the turn. Oh wow! Okay, so this is basically a way to just prevent your life points from going down. So that's actually pretty good. And apparently they have it as a common for some reason. And again, the fucking Bucus. Really? No water? Man. Alright, I should be okay for now. Next up we have Queen Butterfly Danaeus? And apparently they have it as a super rare. Hang on, guys. If water don't work, then a 2-liter Mountain Dew will do it. I know what you're thinking. You're thinking that it's sacrilege for me to drink soda out of a 2-liter bottle. I'm pretty sure it is. But anyway, it is. But anyway, this card is a 8-star. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yep, it is 8-star Wind Insect, 2,800 attack, 1,900 defense, and it says here. Let's see, the effect reads, if you control this normal summoner set card as a quick effect, you can target up to 3 level 4 or lower insect monsters in your grave, change the card's attack to 0, and if you do, special summon those monsters, but their effects are negated. So this is basically, Monster Reborn, and it can help you go into your into some of your extra deck plays depending on what cards you summon. So that's not bad. That's not bad. Next up, we have Quardin, the Clear-Sighted, which is a 4-star Earth Fairy. Oh, maybe a Shizu tier? I don't know. Who knows? 1400 attack, 1000 defense. And the effect reads, when this card is normal summon, you can set one continuous trap from your hand or graveyard. It can be activated this turn. If this card is sent to the grave, you can activate this effect. Excuse me. Face-up traps you control cannot be destroyed by your opponent's card effects until the end of the next turn. Okay, not bad. That's actually not bad. So cards such as like Fiendish Chain, Royal Decree, because you do see those cards get played, but only in rogue decks, I would say. So that's not bad. Next up, we have Pharaonic Advent, which is an 8-star Dark Spellcaster with 2000 attack and defense, and the effect reads that it gains 300 attack for each continuous trap on the field and in the graveyards. Okay. Can only use each of the following effects once per turn. You contribute one monster, special summon this card from your hand. You contribute one fairy, fiend, or reptile monster, add a continuous trap from your deck to your hand, and you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn. Oh, okay, so this is basically like a way this is basically a way to search out pretty much any like continuous trap that they may have at your disposal, which is pretty cool. Not bad, not bad. How many more cards in this article? We have 1, 2, 3. We got 3 more in this article, and then we have the new TCG exclusive archetype, which we'll get to that in a bit. Next up, we have Apophis, the Swamp Deity, which ironically enough is a continuous trap, and the effect reads during the main phase. During the main phase, special summon this card as a normal monster, which is a 6-star Earth Reptile, 2000 attack, 2200 defense, and it's also a trap. Ugh. Hate to see that. You hate to see that. Then you can negate the effects of face-up cards your opponent controls up to the number of other continuous traps you control until the end of the turn. Ooh. Okay, so this is basically Dark Ruler No More. It's kind of like a mini Dark Ruler No More, so that's not bad. Although to be fair, I believe you can actually go into any rank 6 play that they may have at your disposal, but it depends on what your extra deck looks like. So that's not bad. That ain't too bad. Next up, we've got Green Ninja. Yeah, I never thought we would ever get more ninjas into the fold. But this one is a 2-star, looks like a Wind Warrior, 600 attack and defense, and the effect reads. Let me try and bring this up close. If a monster or monsters is special summoned to your field, face up, except during the damage step, you can target one of them, special summon this card from your hand, and if you do, change that monster to face down defense. So it's sort of like a Book of Moon, I guess. So that's pretty cool. If this card is sent from the hand or field to the grave, you can target one monster on the field, change it to face up attack position or face down defense. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so this is basically Book of Moon on a 2-star 600 attack body. So that's not bad. It's an okay card. And then next up we have, I believe, did I ever talk about this card? Did I ever talk about this card? I don't think I did. We have Humongous, Hive, Hegemon, Zack Stagger. I believe is how it's pronounced. I probably butchered it, but it's an 8-star wind insect with 1500 attack, 2600 defense. I can't read German, so I'm gonna have to look it up on Nexus. So let's take a look. Put in the email, put in my password, and now we are good to go. So I'm gonna randomly pick a deck. We will go Battling Boxer. I'm actually been meaning to update my Battling Boxer deck for quite some time. Haven't gotten around to it yet, so I will update that deck at some point, but I don't know if I will. Alright, here we are. So let's see what its effect is. Gains 300 attack for each insect monster on the field except this card. Can only use each of the following effects once per turn. If an insect monster or monster has a special summon, except during the damage type, you can special summon this card from your hand. During the end phase, activate this effect. Each player can special summon one insect monster from their hand or graveyard, but negate its effects. Okay, so this is basically double. This is basically Monster Reborn, but for both sides of the field. That's pretty crazy. Not the best. Excuse me, because obviously your opponent could potentially have insects, but still it's not too bad. Now we move on into the brand new TCG exclusive archetype known as Gold Pride, and I'm gonna be honest, I'm looking at these cards. They could be better. They could be better, I'll say. But first up, we have Gold Pride Leon, which is a 3-star Wind Warrior tuner with 1500 attack, 1200 defense, and the effect reads, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon this card from your hand. If this card is normal or special summon, you can target one non-warrior Gold Pride monster in your grave, special summon it in defense, and you cannot special summon monsters from the extra deck for the rest of the turn except Gold Pride monsters. During your opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you can immediately after the effect resolves, synchro summon one synchro using only Gold Prime monster to control. So this is basically Formula Synchron on a 3-star normal summon, which is pretty cool. So that's actually pretty cool. And funny enough, the only Gold Pride synchro that's in the archetype is Star Leon, which I'll get to its effect a little in just a bit. But still, that's actually pretty cool. Being able to just automatically synchro summon is actually pretty cool. So this card plus I believe this next card that I'm going to talk about, you can instantly go into a Hyper Psychic Riser, which Hyper Psychic Riser is a fucking powerhouse. It is a powerhouse. Psychic End Punisher. Sorry, Psychic End Punisher, I believe is the one. Is it? Yeah, I was right. Psychic End Punisher was the one that I was making reference to. So Psychic End Punisher, a fucking powerhouse. It is a powerhouse. I cannot recommend this card anymore. It's just busted. And then I believe the 3-star tuner plus the other 3-star Gold Prime monster itself, you can instantly go into a Star Leon or any 6-star that you have at your disposal, which is really cool. But speaking of the 8-star, we have Gold Pride Nitro Head. Nitro Head. That's what she said. Anyway, bad joke. I know, bad joke. It's a 8-star Fire Pyro with 2300 attack, 2600 defense, and the effect reads, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can special summon a card from your hand, and during your opponent's standby phase, you can special summon one Nitro token, which is an 8-star Fire Pyro, 0 attack and defense, to your opponent's field, but it cannot be used as link material. During your opponent's main phase, as a quick effect, you can target Nitro tokens on the Nitro token on the field, destroy that token, and destroy all cards in its adjacent monster zones and spell and trap zones. You can only use each effect once per turn. Okay, so this is basically a way to just break your opponent's board just by using the fucking token. That's pretty crazy. Not much else to say about that. Next up, we have Gold Pride Captain Carry, which is a 3-star Water Fiend with 900 attack, 1700 defense. Basically, the first effect is the exact same thing. If your life points are lower than your opponent's, Sidra this card from your hand. And upon the card being normal summon or upon this card being normal or special summon, you can add a Gold Pride trap from your deck to your hand. So trap, Rhoda, not much else to say about that. If this card is sent to the grave, you can target Gold Pride monsters you control that was special summon from the extra deck, banish up to 3 Gold Pride cards from your grave, and if you do, that monster gains 500 attack for each card banished this way. That ain't too bad. Being able to just overpower one of your opponent's monsters just with this effect, that ain't too bad. That ain't too bad. Speaking of Star Leon, Gold Pride Star Leon, 6-star Light Thunder Synchro. 2000 attack and defense, and requires a tuner and one or more non-tuners. During the main phase, as a quick effect, you can target face-up monsters. Target one face-up monster your opponent controls. This card gains attack equal to that target's original attack. Then, if your life points are lower than your opponent's, you can destroy that monster. You can only use the previous effect once per turn. Once per turn during the end phase, if the previous effect was activated this turn, return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, special summon one Gold Pride Leon from your deck or graveyard. So this is a great way to just loop, this is a great way to basically loop into breaking your opponent's board, which is actually pretty crazy. Although I know the effect does say that it's once per turn, still that's pretty crazy though. That's pretty crazy. Being able to just loop into this card again and again and break your opponent's board. That could be pretty interesting. Next up, we have Gold Pride Nitro Blaster, which is a Dark Pyro Link 2 with 2300 attack, and its arrows are top and bottom, and the material requires 2 Gold Pride monsters with different levels. You can target one monster your opponent controls, destroy it. Then if your life points are lower than your opponent's, destroy all cards in its adjacent monster zones and spell and trap zones. This is basically Mech Knights on steroids. This is basically the Mech Knight deck on steroids. That's all it is. You can only use this effect once per turn. Once per turn during the end phase. If this effect was activated this turn, return this card to the extra deck, and if you do, supposed to summon one Gold Pride Nitro Head from your deck or graveyard. Okay, so this is, again, basically a way to just break boards easily. So if you have both Natural Blaster and Star Leon on board, you can just instantly break your opponent's board right off the bat, just with those 2 cards alone, which is pretty cool. And then you're basically just and then you can summon Leon and Nitro Head from your graveyard, sync them off into a Psychic and Punisher, and just attack for game, which is pretty nuts. Next up, we have Gold Pride, The Crowd Goes Wild. Konami and the fucking puns. Who would have ever thought? Who would have ever guessed, right? Anyway, it's a normal spell that reads reveal one Gold Pride monster in your hand, add one Gold Pride monster with a different name from your deck to your hand. Then you can apply the following effect. Special summon one Gold Pride monster from your hand, but lose life points life points equal to its original attack. You can only activate this card once per turn. Okay, so this is basically Rhoda. This is basically Rhoda, and you deal yourself a bunch of life points. That's all there is to it. Although, to be fair, I think if you had like say Waking the Dragon and like Triple D Oracle King Dark, or like a small DD package that can help you make Oracle King Dark, you don't lose the life points, you gain the life points. So that'd be a pretty cool tech. And now for the final card of this video. It is known as Gold Pride Start Your Engines, which is a normal trap that reads: if your opponent normal or special summons a monster, target one of those monsters, reveal 3 Gold Pride monsters from your deck. Your opponent randomly picks one for you to special summon, and shuffle the rest into your deck, and destroy the targeted monster. So this is basically Trap Hole with a few extra steps, but it's not too bad. It's basically Pot of Duality. It's Trap Hole, Wavering Eyes, but in a normal trap. That's pretty nuts. My thoughts on this archetype: it could have been better. I think the effects could have been worded a little bit differently, but still, I'm very curious as to see whether or not these cards, whether or not the deck becomes meta. I'm very curious, but that brings me to the question of the day: what are your guys' thoughts on the Gold Pride archetype, and could we see the deck become meta at some point down the road? Let me know down in the comments below, and that will do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed. If you did, make sure you guys smash that thumbs up button. If you guys are new to the channel and you guys want more videos like this in the future, which get posted every Tuesday and sometimes on weekends, make sure you guys subscribe to the channel, turn on the notification bell, and follow me on all my social media. Links will be in the description below, as will the info to my fan mail. It will also be in the description as well. And on that, this is your boy Nash, signing out.